I think this is working. Yeah, it is. So we left off on this. I forgot to highlight this. Um. Yeah, she's not gonna do that, is it? Yeah, right. I'm meant to be talking. So we left off with China. So basically, if you didn't watch it, because like you probably didn't on there. How did it even happen again? I'm so tired. These guys declared war on the West for Suez, Morocco, and West Africa. I'm pretty sure, and also demanded this. So then ITO declared war on them because they attacked Morocco. And the Suez, but they don't really care about this. It's more like an American puppet. So like America, you defend your own stuff, so you kicked us out of it. And then the Russians saw the opportunity of a weak in China having to focus on all this. They kind of, well, all this. So they just took their chance and declared war. And we might see these getting called in. We might see these getting called in on respective sides. Probably not these. But it's good to say now, before I get too far into anything, these American fellows, with the help of the British, French, German, Italian, and Japanese scientists, even if they're neutral, what are you gonna do? Have all come up with the nuke, and are about to figure out how to get it on a plane, on a plane to China, because they want to have it a show of power with like Beijing or something, instead of like a proxy level like Nairobi or Lagos. You know what I mean? Like, they want to do it somewhere big, so it reaches headlines. You know, well, it would anyways. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, so we go zoom in on the West African offensive and the Chinese. And it's safe to say the Americans do not want to waste millions of men defending what's not even that strategic of a foothold. If they wanted to, they can mobilise millions in the Suez and Israel and just smash through Egypt. Um, so yeah, not there's a few thousand captured, but mainly like African garrisons of European countries, or well, yeah, it can only be European countries because I was gonna say African countries, but yeah. Anyway, so that's West Africa. So that frees up whole front. They moved these reserves over to Morocco, where this isn't finally crushed. It's divvied up into three, but they do manage to hold Gibraltar with lots of support, so it's still in the mouths of the Mediterranean. By the way, this is all happening simultaneously. I'm just doing it one at a time, so it's easier. So I'll do an offensive over here from the west, maybe, then it's the same time as this, or like, you know what I'm trying to say. So that's pretty much Africa dealt with. So China is now fully prepared to take on the final remaining nations in Southeast Asia. They declare war on Thailand, who have heavy American ties and join the ITO. They declare war on Laos, who also joined the ITO. Then they declare war on Vietnam and Cambodia. Recently, well, Cambodia is a dictatorship, so they don't join anyone, they stand by themselves. Because the ITO do not accept them in, so they don't want to promote their not democracy. Vietnam, let's just say, he was going to go to a conference in, I don't know, Manila or Singapore or something. But his plane mysteriously got shot down over what's the Pacific here, or the China Sea, and that was the end of that. So no negotiations were held for them, and then the Chinese just crashed through. Well, not just Chinese, but the Indians also held down Thailand, who were unprepared for this. Well, not unprepared as in they didn't know what would happen. Unprepared as in they couldn't really do much to stop it either way. The Americans are starting to flood in here, and so did the British forces from Malaya. Um, but inevitably, this all falls pretty fast. Cambodia and Vietnam capitulate, and they are directly integrated into China, who have millions of men to garrison it, so they can crack down on them eventually. So it's probably dumb, but putting a loyalist government in place could result in either a revolution from them or them switching sides because of a coup or something. So they just clamp down and sending 100,000 police or something to cut tens of thousands of police down there to sort out. So yeah, there's the borders of China. Got plus social credit from that one, apart from Taiwan. But anyways, yeah. Now the remainder of the Southeast Asian forces are captured and killed in these territories, and then they walk down to Malaya, which holds for a while, but then Singapore falls. So that's lots of the ITO's resources gone, and their foothold in Southeast Asia pretty much, as hundreds of thousands of Indonesian forces finally capitulate Malaya. The Philippines is still standing, you might say, and yes it is, but not for long, but because the Chinese Navy do manage to land here and on South Island, but that's about it, because the American Navy holds the rest. So this is ringing alarm bells for the West right now, because they're kind of getting absolutely destroyed. But it's a very strong China. But we're going to see a bounce back in the West here. We see a full liberation of Arabia from the Americans, who are more than prepared for this. There we go. So the Chinese effectively traded oil for rubber. With the taking Southeast Asia but losing Arabia. This is happening at the same time as I said previously. And then they take a few strategic areas down here. In the end, they can't be reinforced. The lines collapse, and then over a few weeks, they walk through it. And then Arabia falls, and Socotra is seized. But now the oil reserves of the Chinese faction are effectively gone. Because getting anything from here to there is now effectively impossible, with A, the Red Sea being blockaded, and B, they'll never make it through here either way. So yeah, now the faction is split in half, which is never good. So we might see them breaking up soon. Very sad times. And then we're going to skip to another Chinese offensive up here. Now the Chinese against the Russians. Not the Russians against not the Chinese against the West, rather. And the Manchurian offensive goes very well. And they even walk through. Is that Bryansk? I can't remember. No, that's not Bryansk. Bryansk is miles away. I know what I'm on about. I might be on there. Anyways, yeah. Trap a load of forces in Vladivostok and cross the strait over to Sakhalin and take that. It's happening over weeks, by the way. And why would the Russians prepared? Well, I'll tell you, there are Russian forces here, but just not enough of them. I didn't expect the Chinese to hit them this hard, so they have a whole thing to garrison, but because they're kind of hiding their military build-up. Because they assumed there'll be a lot, but they didn't expect this much, and they expect this much modern technology from their eyes, an inferior form of communism. But both of them are as inferior as each other in reality. Anyways, so that's about the Chinese offensive, but the Russians do retaliate. I say the Russians is their faction, but it's pretty much all Russians at this point, so they've annexed this. Maybe there's lots of Yugoslavians, lots of Romanians, but pretty much everyone else is just relying on the Russians. Anyways, yeah. And the red wave hits Xinjiang, and then I was gonna say the Taliban, Afghanistan, and a bit of what's called West Pakistan there. How would they push through Afghanistan that quickly? Because they've got elite mountaineers. There you are. Have that. And that's a good answer, to be fair. Alright. Obviously that's pretty hell to push through, so that's by the end of that. And then we cut over. Do we cut over? Okay, I'm going to cut over to someone else real quick. The Chinese declare war on Taiwan, which in turn brings Australia into war, who are their puppet master. And they rejoin the ITO to dislike of Britain, because Australia kind of backstabbed them. What are you going to do? They're in now because America said so. So pretty much your whole world is in this. Oh no, hold on. Oh, bloody hiccups. Apparently gaslight yourself not having, you don't. Have me one. Then Russia forced the South Americans' hand, saying, hey, we helped you get this big. I don't have hiccups, 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 I don't have hiccups. Yeah, I think we're good. No, we're not good, so I don't have hiccups. Oh, cool, I think it worked. Most critical told me that. Anyways, Yeah, so Russian said, hey, you are only here because of us, let's be honest, Brazil. So if you join, just to, well, pretty much he does do anything just to intimidate China and let them know they're alone effectively at this point. That'd be great. So they joined in, and now the whole world's in it, apart from literally Japan, Sweden, Ireland, and Switzerland. Yeah, they're the only countries not. Switzerland. I don't know why Ireland haven't joined yet. Let's say UK still objects it, and Sweden because they want to be neutrals. They're kind of in the middle of a massive thing there. This is bigger than World War Two. Bloody hell! Hiccups, man. I'm getting pranked. This is bigger than World War Two. This one, obviously. Stop! I'm getting trolled by my own lungs. Like, why? I hate hiccups, man. Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm actually gonna kill myself. In game. I'm not really gonna do that. I'm just saying the hiccups are very sad. Anyways, the U.S. Navy, the ITO Navy, wasn't quick enough to get down here, so they started taking over Australian stuff. Not great. Too fast. Taiwan wasn't too well garrisoned, and that fell. And that's finally the social credit I required. I don't have hiccups. And this fell as well, because that was under Australian control. But yeah, in the final offensive, we're going to see this episode pretty much. Because I don't want to rush it too fast, so obviously this is not going to be over in a year. Great. So it wasn't timing the episodes by years, and I would. We see a massive offensive into Egypt from the ITO. And then we see a little landing in Tunis here. And which kind of gets out of control, and the Algerians are trying to hold the American tanks and air force off. And the main objective right now is to kick them out of the Mediterranean, so they don't worry about that convoys being raided. We see a major push back here in Morocco. Loads of forces captured here. And with the Africans being split off from their allies, they're going to struggle a lot. More naval landings here, bridge the gaps. And then the Algerian coast and the Mediterranean was gone. That's about it for that. Let's see, the Chinese starting to fall apart. Chinese faction is starting to fall apart, but not too much right now. It's starting number. They're pretty much even with these guys, so just the Chinese army alone. So, anyways, yeah, that's enough for one day. See you here, cuts and all. Goodbye, my friend.